service pros. Stop competing price. Start dominating value. This is the Pool Profit Pros podcast, your personal roadmap to $1 million money model for your pool business. The Pool Profit Pros podcast is a production of Pro Tough Products, a premium pool pro solutions provider since 2014. Let's face it, every pool service company has problems. Let's generate effective solutions together.
Welcome back, everyone, to Pool Profit Pros, episode 19.
No.
Okay, so if you've been building the $1 million money model with us, you know we've covered a lot. The foundation, getting better clients, scaling up, maximizing those upsells.
That's right. And today, we're really shifting gears. We're heading into the final stage of the blueprint, becoming unbeatable.
Okay.
This means we're moving beyond just, building capacity. Now it's about perfecting efficiency. This is where the really resilient, the truly profitable businesses pull away from the pack. It demands precision.
Precision.
Yeah.
And the way we get there, the mechanism, is what we're calling efficiency stacking.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of technical, but it's really about hunting down those tiny, tiny gains, those small tweaks, right? The ones people often miss.
Exactly. Those little things that drop straight profit to your bottom line.
So simple when you put it like that.
Think of it like this. Every single efficiency gain, it's like giving yourself a pay raise. But you didn't have to actually raise your prices to get it. The mission here is, well, it's pretty straightforward. How do you squeeze every last ounce of performance out of everything your business is already doing?
Because it's true, isn't it? The difference between, say, a $500,000 pool business and one hitting $1 million, it's usually not some giant new thing.
No, rarely.
It's often about who had the discipline, the relentless focus to run these small tests.
Yeah.
Most people hit a plateau, maybe their conversion rate stalls, and they just kind of stop pushing.
That's it, exactly. The winners, though, they treat efficiency like this continuous commitment. It never really stops.
Right.
You find a fractional increase in your closing rate here. You save maybe 3 minutes on every service stop over there. These things, they compound, they build on each other until your profit margins are just, fundamentally untouchable.
Untouchable. I like the sound of that. Okay, so to kick off this efficiency hunt, we need a starting point. We need to measure the right stuff, establish that baseline. What are the absolutely essential metrics for this level of refinement?
Okay, for any business, really, that wants scale and resilience, there are 2 key financial numbers you have to track, like religiously. We call them the twin stars, LTGP and CAC.
LTGP, lifetime gross profit, and CAC, cost to acquire a customer. Let's break down LTGP first, because it's really important to get this definition right. It's not just total revenue, is it?
No, absolutely not. It's the real money left over after the actual work is done.
Okay.
Lifetime gross profit is all the money a customer ever spends with you, but then you subtract all the direct costs to physically deliver that service.
So that means chemicals.
Chemicals, yep. The specific labor cost for that visit, not overhead labor, but the tech's time on that job, fuel costs, any, cost of goods sold if parts were involved.
Got it. And that number, the LTGP that's left over, that's the actual net cash available, right?
That's your pool of money. It funds everything else, your overhead like rent, your own salary, and maybe most importantly, your future marketing spend.
Okay, so give us an example.
Sure. Let's say you charge $280 a month for service. And your direct delivery cost for that service, chemicals, labor, fuel for that stop is maybe $110.
Yep.
Well, then you're generating $170 in LTGP per month from that client. Now, the immediate strategic goal, the first thing you aim for, is what we call client-financed acquisition.
Client-financed acquisition.
Right.
Meaning using that LTGP, that $170 a month in the example, to pay back the initial CAC, the costs to get that customer really, really fast.
As fast as possible. Ideally, you want the customer paying back their entire acquisition cost before the end of the very first month, maybe within the first 30 days, tops.
Wow, okay.
Once that customer clears that benchmark, once they've essentially paid for their own sign-up cost and the cost of that initial service delivery, then every single payment after month 2, that's just pure leverage, pure profit funding and definite growth without you taking on extra risk or debt.
That completely changes the game, doesn't it? Instead of just hoping your marketing dollars pay off eventually, you know that your growth is being funded by your existing cash flow. It's self-sustaining.
Exactly. No more crossing your fingers.
Okay, so we know the key metrics. Now, to make sure we're focusing our efforts effectively, we need to figure out what actually makes our best clients different. There was some interesting research you mentioned about tracking early customer actions.
Yeah, the data was pretty stunning, actually. It showed that if a new client took just one specific high-leverage action, usually within the first 7 days of signing up,
Yeah.
their predicted LTGP, their total lifetime value to the business, actually tripled.
Tripled. Just from one early action. That's incredible leverage.
Huge leverage.
So for the Pool Pro listening, the task becomes identifying what that magic action is for their specific business. What's the signal of real commitment?
Right. It's finding that high-value behavior indicator. For service businesses, what could it be? Maybe it's the client who immediately signs up for automated biweekly payments. Or perhaps they choose the annual prepay option right out of the gate.
Or maybe adding on a premium chemical package within the first few days.
Could be. Anything that signals they're all in. The power comes from tracking the correlation in your own data. You look at clients who took that specific early action versus those who didn't, and see what their eventual lifetime gross profit looks like.
So the data tells you who the real winners are likely to be.
Precisely. And once you know that key action, you then focus all your onboarding, all your initial communication on encouraging every single new client to hit that milestone early on. You're basically guiding them towards becoming a high-value customer.
That's the signal you want to cultivate.
Want help putting these strategies into practice? We've got some great free resources to help you get moving in the right direction and speed your path to success. Check out the show notes for a link to all of our support resources.
Okay, so tracking metrics like LTGP and CAC, identifying those high-value client signals. That's step one. But now we need to look at our system, our whole process, and figure out why we're not getting more of those great outcomes. Which brings us to probably the most powerful concept in efficiency.
Finding the constraint.
The bottleneck.
Yeah.
This is that single point in your entire system. Could be in sales, could be in operations, where making the smallest, most focused improvement gives you the biggest, most immediate jump in your overall results.
And here's the critical part, the thing most people miss. If you spend your time and energy improving anything other than that specific constraint, you are essentially wasting your effort. It won't move the needle nearly as much.
Okay, let's make that concrete. Walk us through that leaky funnel example you mentioned.
Sure. Imagine a pool pro sends out, say, 100 warm outreach messages, maybe emails or DMs, and they get 20 replies back.
Okay, 20 replies from 100 messages. That's a 20% engagement rate. That sounds pretty good, actually.
It is good. But then of those 20 people who replied and showed interest, only one person actually books the $30 pool service audit they were offering.
Ouch. 1 out of 20? That's only a 5% conversion from reply to booking. That's a huge drop-off.
Massive drop-off. So the question is, where's the breakdown? The initial message worked, 20% engagement is solid.
Right. So it wasn't the outreach itself. The constraint, the bottleneck, must be somewhere in how that $30 audit offer is perceived or presented or explained. That's where all the momentum just dies.
Exactly. Now, what's most people's gut reaction here?
Send more messages. Get more leads.
Right. Send 100 more messages. But all that does, based on your current 5% booking rate, is guarantee you'll waste 95 more opportunities at that booking stage. You're just pouring more water into a leaky bucket.
So the smarter move, the argument here, is don't just do more. Do better at that specific point of failure.
Precisely. You focus all your energy, all your testing on improving that constraint. Maybe enhance the audit sales page. Tweak the follow-up script for people who reply. Maybe clarify exactly what value that $30 audit delivers. You work only on that until that 5% conversion rate starts to climb significantly.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you avoid just flailing around, trying random fixes? How do you stay focused?
Discipline. You need discipline testing. You commit, maybe, to testing one new variable on that identified bottleneck every single week, just one change at a time.
One change per week. And you have a rule for knowing when to move on, right?
Yes. To enforce that discipline, you only move on to tackle the next constraint after you have tried and failed to beat your current best-performing version of that element in, say, 4 consecutive weekly tests.
4 weeks, one problem. Okay. So you're forced to really drill down and maximize the improvement on the biggest bottleneck before you even think about chasing the next shiny object or the next potential problem.
That's the idea. Solve the biggest problem first. Prove you've squeezed most of the juice out of it for now, then move on to the next biggest constraint.
Okay, so solving that sales bottleneck helps bring in more volume. But then there's the other side. Solving operational constraints unlocks pure profit, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about finding that money that goes straight into the profit column, cutting operational costs.
Yeah, this is maybe the less glamorous side of efficiency, but honestly, it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Every single dollar you save on something like fuel or chemicals, it acts just like a dollar of a pure, risk-free price increase hitting your bottom line. The leverage is immense.
Okay, so where should pool pros start looking first? What are some immediate, quick win areas for operational savings?
Number one, without a doubt, is the operational killer. Route and drive time. You just cannot rely on static routes or basic map apps anymore. Not if you want peak efficiency.
What's the alternative?
You really need dedicated pool service management software, the kinds with smart sequencing, maybe even using AI, that can re-optimize your routes daily.
Daily. Based on what?
Based on current traffic patterns, maybe service priorities for that day, even predicted service time per stop based on history. Think about minimizing left turns, avoiding known traffic jams, cutting just, say, 10 miles of driving per technician per day. That adds up to thousands of dollars straight to your annual profit margin per truck.
Wow, okay. That's huge. Area number 2 for savings.
Material waste. This is often the invisible drain, especially with chemicals and small parts, O-rings, baskets, things like that.
So how do we plug that leak? Stop inventory from just disappearing or expiring on the shelf.
It really comes down to implementing a robust inventory management system. It doesn't have to be super complex. Even simple software that's tied directly to your truck stock levels can make a massive difference. You must track chemicals, parts, everything with diligence. If you don't, you inevitably end up over-ordering some things, running out of others, or letting expensive inventory expire.
Waste. It's maximizing the use of every dollar you spend on materials. Makes sense. And the third area you mentioned sometimes feels a bit counterintuitive when you're trying to save money. Tool and equipment costs.
Right, because quality tools often cost more upfront, don't they?
They do. So how does spending more save money?
Because downtime is arguably the single most expensive hidden cost in a premium service business. Investing in high-quality, reliable tools, vacuums, poles, brushes, it eliminates those catastrophic hidden costs of tool failure.
What kind of costs?
Lost revenue from missed or rescheduled appointments, wasted technician time dealing with broken gear, even reputation damage if you can't complete jobs properly. Those costs dwarf the initial price difference for a better tool.
So the actionable efficiency here isn't just buying cheap stuff. It's about prioritizing tools that are built to last, maybe ones that come with strong commercial warranties.
Exactly. And thinking ahead, maybe keeping common failure parts like vacuum bearings or pole cams actually in the truck for immediate field fixes.
Ah, smart. Minimize that operational interruption.
And maybe even choosing equipment that's known for being quicker and easier to repair when something does eventually break. It's all about buying back operational certainty and minimizing that killer downtime.
Buying back certainty. I like that. Okay, let's wrap up with 2 final strategic tweaks. These seem to enhance both the financial stability and the service quality side of things. First one, adjusting the billing cadence.
Right. Now, most businesses default to monthly billing. It's just standard.
Yeah. But you suggest considering bi-weekly billing instead. Now, we're often dealing with premium clients here who likely don't have cash flow problems paying a monthly bill. So what's the strategic advantage for us, the business?
It's primarily a cash flow smoothing mechanism for the business, especially as you scale. Even affluent clients often operate on pay cycles, maybe weekly or biweekly from their jobs or investments, aligning your billing shortly after they typically receive funds. It's not about their ability to pay, it's more of a psychological nudge. It can subtly improve the consistency and timeliness of payments hitting your account.
Ah, okay, so it just smooths out your cash flow throughout the month, making things more predictable, especially with multiple techs and higher overhead.
Exactly. Less lumpiness in your cash flow, which is always helpful when you're managing growth. No price change needed, just a structural tweak.
Smart. Simple, but smart.
Yeah.
And the final point brings us full circle, back to something fundamental we talked about early on. Revisiting that guarantee, like the crystal clear commitment. The 24-hour fix or the next service is free idea.
Yeah, we bring it back up here in the context of efficiency because a strong guarantee like that, it transforms into a really powerful internal efficiency driver. It's not just for the customer. Well, think about it. If you promise a free service visit for any failure, any slip-up on your part, the financial cost of operational sloppiness becomes instantly painfully real for the business.
Right. A free visit means zero revenue for that stop, maybe even negative profit once you factor in costs.
Precisely. That built-in financial consequence forces the entire business management, tax, everyone to be hyper-diligent, to be precise. Quality control becomes non-negotiable because mediocrity now has a direct negative dollar amount attached to it, baked right into the model. It enforces operational excellence.
It raises the internal stakes, ensuring everyone maintains those high standards needed for premium service and premium margins. Wow. Okay, so putting this all together, building that truly unbeatable, resilient million-dollar money model, it's clearly not about finding one giant silver bullet.
No, not at all. It's about relentless, meticulous refinement. It's about measuring what truly matters, constantly testing improvements, and maximizing every single component of your business from your headline guarantee all the way down to the quality of your testing kits and the optimization of your daily routes. Every little bit adds up.
So the next step for everyone listening seems pretty clear then. Pick one thing, just one constraint in your current process right now that feels like a bottleneck, that feels leaky.
Could be anything. Your, quote, conversion rate. Maybe your chemical cost is a percentage of revenue. Or that average drive time per job we talked about. Just pick one and commit to testing and improving just that one thing this week.
Get that win, build some momentum, start curing the leaks.
That's the path.
Okay, well, we have officially covered the 4 massive stages of building and then perfecting your money model. Attraction, upsells, operations, and now, finally, efficiency.
It has been quite a journey building this whole thing out piece by piece. Make sure you join us next time for episode 20. It's the grand finale. We're going to pull everything we've discussed together into one comprehensive final blueprint. The whole picture.
Can't wait for that. All right, and here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on as you get started on your efficiency testing this week. You know, volatility in a business, those unpredictable ups and downs, the feast or famine cycles, it really only happens because of 2 fundamental things.
What are they?
Insufficient volume coming in the door and inconsistent controls within the operation.
Volume and controls.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And by meticulously applying these efficiency methods, the things we talked about today, you start to cure that inconsistency. You cure the volatility, and you build a business that becomes truly fundamentally, well, impossible to kill.
Impossible to kill. That sounds like a pretty good definition of unbeatable to me.
Couldn't agree more. See you all next time for the final blueprint.